All right, Southern Garden. This is the bean trellis. As you can see, the left half, these are the Christmas limas, and they're doing excellent in the heat, growing super full. On the right half are the scarlet runners, and they're turning yellow. They're not as happy. They've kind of stopped producing for the moment, dropping all their flowers. Here's what the Christmas limas look like. See the pods under there? Green pods. And then here is what they look like when they're done. This is how many I've collected so far. And here's the scarlet runners. See the pods here. Kind of dry pod in the back. And then this is what the scarlet runners look like. You can see in the sun. And here's the Southwest Gold drying down. A good third of the bed is already dried down and we've removed it. Let's see how it's all looking there. The soaked beans just end up kind of lasting longer, which is not ideal. It's not what I want. So I'll probably refresh the seed this time. This is the old potato bed, so we put garbanzo beans in this half, and then this is where the onions used to be. They weren't working, so we pulled them out. Don't keep going on a failure. And we put in a cover crop here. I think it's Summer Soil Builder, should be. And this is the corn. I'm about filming at 6 feet, so it's getting up to 8, possibly 11 by the tallest stalk. You can see there's a good amount of corn on it. These are kind of the rejects of the others, so there's a lot of different types. My main observation, as you can see here, is there's multiple. There's probably 3 on that one. You can see there's a number on this one over here. So you can see I can kind of see through it. So there's wider spacing on these, kind of 6 to 12 inches apart, only 2. So I think the wider spacing gives them more corn. So that's something to test next year. Here's a sweet pepper bed. So that one's the banana one, and it's not doing as well. I'm basically keeping these alive by fertilizing every Saturday. As you can see, some of them have some good green leaf, but not many peppers. This one's not doing very well. But the other one is staying alive really well and giving constant peppers, which is nice. But I will be kind of redoing all of these for next year, putting them in a whole new bed and refreshing. The calendulas have started to come back, so that's looking good. And then these coreopsis they just keep going. You can see they're mostly dead, but they're still flowering, so I let it go. And then you can see this is actually our butternut. So they've just exploded in the last month, producing a lot of butternut. And you can see some of them here. It's a Walham butternut we got from the store. Looked super yellow, but we made sure to fertilize it. And just for reference, this is the fertilizer I'm using. Tomato veg. You put 1/8 of a cup into a gallon. I just use milk jugs, and then I pour it on anything that needs it. Anything that's not thriving or anything, especially anything that's yellow. And good things happen. Hot peppers, I think this is the shishito pepper. It's got some on it, turning red. Don't remember what that is, but it continues to live, which is good. Here's the eggplant, just suffering. It's bad soil, so we need to get this into good soil, and apparently it likes acid. We tend to be alkaline in water and potentially in soil. This pepper's doing good. Don't know what it is. That one's dead. And this one's alive, but it's kind of stopped producing fruit for the moment. Random update. This lavender died, so we'll have to find another lavender that does well in the heat. But we hit like high 90s and it just died straight up. In contrast, this seems to be doing pretty well. It's establishing well, kind of have the next year's growth already established for the time. This is one of my proudest things this year. It's probably 11-foot corn right there at the top. Some of those kind of starts at 8 foot, but I'll go in detail about all these varieties. This is the Hopi Blue. It's looking pretty good. It's got strong corn on each of the stalks. You can see it's about shortest is 6. There's a number of 8s, and it goes up to, there's a couple of 11s in there, or at least one 11. And then, yeah, you can see the corn. It's looking good. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's better than I expected. It ended up tasseling later than the rest by a week or two, so it should be a little more uniform in terms of color. All right, here we have the Oaxacan green. It tends to be a bit taller. You can see we're hitting 8-9 foot pretty consistently with these. They're setting pretty well. You can see how many corn are on the sunny side. We'll go look at the shade side here in a sec. So this is the shady side. This is still a little bit sunny over here. As you can see the double corn on that one. Let's see. You can see there's a lot less corn here. Like that stalk, I don't see anything on. You're just not seeing it as much. Here's one on that stalk. So I think this needs wider spacing. This is the Bloody Butcher, starting about right here and to the right. It's growing okay. I mean, it does have one of the tallest stalks, but it also has some of the shortest and smallest. So it's kind of struggling. And you'll notice there's a lot of dead material down there. There's a lot more than the others. And it's just kind of a yellow-green. If you notice in the other shots, they kind of, even that leaf through there is greener. But it doesn't have as much corn on it. Get some good shots here. So you can see it's just browning all the way up, a little prematurely. And some of these just don't look as healthy. So I probably won't grow this. I'll probably try Jimmy Red next year. Next up we have the Glass Gem from my brother, Gen 3. So I'll probably refresh this corn. There's been some strange genetic diversity in it. But it's growing really healthily. As you can see, it's pretty wild in there. And even on the less sunny side, which is the one we're facing, you can see it has corn on it as opposed to the others. It isn't as big, but it's still, it's trying for 2. There's another one in the middle of the patch. So it seems pretty strong. Seems like the 12 by 8 inch spacing works decently. I might go to 12 by 12 and see how that works. I can see it's setting a lot of corn there. So the main thing that I'm concerned about is down here. You see the tillers, and it makes it harder because the tillers themselves, notice that some of this corn, that's like drying down. And then the one over there, I don't know if you can see, is already like super dark brown. But these are starting new. So these are 2 to 4 weeks behind the others because it's a tiller coming up. So it's not as consistent. So probably refresh that.